Yes, and good morning. Welcome to Y in the Morning here at Y254. How is your morning today? I had a lovely morning. I hope you do as well. Open to our social media. Tell us, what are you having today, this lovely morning? Is it coffee? Is it tea? Because specifically, I would say I'm loving a tea this morning, but I don't know about you. And also, we love the question of the day, so make sure you open out our socials at Y254 channel, engage with us, and maybe if I get this time, I'll be sampling some of the few comments as I go on with the show. Of course, the show is Y in the Morning, hashtag still Y in the Morning. My good name is James John, and I'll be your host for today. Today, you have a very dope show lineup for you. Of course, starting with the dailies, giving the updates of the country. What is been happening throughout the country, not even locally, of course, even internationally, giving the updates all through the dailies and other stories. And not forgetting later on, I'll having a conversation with one amazing guest that I'll be having in the building, Alexander Kieti from NS. We'll be talking about a topic about youth inclusion in immunization, what really this entails. So we'll go to in details about that. So make sure you stay tuned, and thank you so much for choosing Y254. So I just want to look at the dailies to understand what has been happening on the dailies. And before I could do so, I've told you, just go to our social medias at Y254. We have put up the question of the day. Make sure you engage with us. So yeah, I'm going to look at some of the dailies that I have. I have the Standard with me. I have the Daily Nation with me as well. And I'll give in the updates, also the Star as well, and also some of the few other dailies like People Daily. So it's just start with the Standard, and looking at it, I see a very bold picture of the former Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua, and the title is Billion Shillings Suit. So former Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua, who was impeached in October 2024, had his day in court yesterday as his lawyers challenged the process, terming it rushed, biased, and politically driven. They argued he was denied a fair hearing and raised claims of bribery and ignored court orders. If he succeeds, then the case could open the doors to billions in benefits and compensation claims against the state. You will find this story on page 6, and yeah, just down there, I can see Gachagua impeachment timeline. So I just giving an highlight on how the impeachment process went on with, of course, early October 2024 impeachment motion tabled in the National Assembly. Then we had October from date 5 to date from date 4 to date 5, public participation and held. It would later be challenged as rushed and flawed. Then we had October date 8, members of parliament pass impeachment motion, case moves to the Senate. Then we had mid-October, where now the Senate hears the case in plenary. Then Gachagua's lawyers allege bias, limited hearing time, and procedural breaches. Then mid-October, then we had Senate uploads impeachment on the 5 charges. Gachagua is removed from the office. Then we had October 18th, Professor Kithure Kindiki sworn in as the deputy president. Then late 2024, Gachagua files court challenge, citing unfair outside process and Then on April 2026, Gachagua drop a reinstatement bid, now seeks compensation and full benefits, now ongoing, which is still ongoing now. High Court to rule on legality of his impeachment. The decision could cost taxpayers billions. Yeah, so this is a highlight about billion shilling suit. Of course, the former deputy president Rigathi Gachagua wanting compensation, feeling it was unfair for him to be impeached out of the office with us, because it was just a sudden move for him. So also, it is also highlighted on the Daily Nation, the Gachagua U-turn. Yeah, the same story with grievance. He argues hurried impeachment proceedings, so a House resolution sent to the Senate at night. Yeah, that also is also highlighted in the Daily Nation. You can also find that story in the Daily Nation. So I just want to look another paper here, the Star, that is Kenya's nuclear energy ambition takes off in Siaya. Government intends to increase production to 10,000 in 10,000 MW in 7 years. Yeah, you can find that story on page 4 to and 5 of the Star. Kenya's nuclear energy ambition takes off in Siaya, with the government intending to increase the production to even about 10,000 in the next 7 years. On the People Daily, I can see the story is about living on credit, why Kenyans can't save. I don't know why. It's about the Fuliza economy, why Kenyans can't save. Okay, so some figures here. You can see that story is on page 13 of the People Daily, but I can see some figures here. So, of course, talking about why Kenyans can't pay, it's not a little bit unclear for me. So I just go to the next one, which is fuel price in mess. EPRA question over Kenya shillings 1.06 billion expenses. On page 6 is highlighting special audit on importation of petroleum products between March 2023 and June 2024 reveals anomalies and weaknesses in the field retail price settings. Of course, with Kenyans still complaining about the fuel prices, which is a matter that has been ongoing for about 2 weeks now. So yeah, that story is also highlighted on page 6 of the People Daily about the fuel prices. So just look at another stories. Then, of course, we get to the interview. I've told you in the house, I have Alexander Kieti with me, who is from NET. We're going to discuss about youth inclusion in immunization. Then later on, of course, we'll be joined by our very own Stephanie Ayeta and Brian Sakwa, live from the Connected Africa Summit 2026, the event that is going on about technology. So they'll be telling us more on that. But right now, of course, we must continue. Then I'll be highlighting other stories. Of course, I'm seeing a story here from Bar's Room about a light aircraft on a domestic flight crashes near Juba in South Sudan, killing all 14 people on the board, including 2 Kenyans. So apparently, a light aircraft operating a domestic flight in South Sudan has crashed near the capital, Juba, killing all 14 people on board, including 2 Kenyan nationals. According to the aviation authorities, the aircraft was traveling from Yei to Juba when it lost communication mid-flight before going down about 20 kilometers southwest of the city. All 13 passengers and the pilot on board have perished, which is a tragedy. Then officials have identified the aircraft as a Cessna 208, a caravan operated by CityLink Aviation. Contact with the plane was lost roughly 30 minutes after takeoff, prompting concern before the wreckage was later located near Juba. Then authorities have confirmed that among the victims were 2 Kenyans, with the rest being South Sudanese nationals. The identities of those who died are not yet be publicly released at the time of reporting. Then primarily findings suggest that the poor weather conditions, particularly low visibility, may have contributed to the crash, although investigations are ongoing to establish the exact cause. Rescue and investigation teams have since been deployed to the crash site as authorities work to gather more information and determine the circumstances surrounding the crash, which is a tragedy. It's a terrific and a tragic story to wake up on this morning. Yeah. So that's all about the updates of the dailies and all the other stories. If I get more, of course, I'll update you on it. I've told you to go on our social media to be where you tune in from. Of course, what are you having this morning? Is it coffee? Is it tea? Specifically, I've told you I prefer tea, but I don't know about you. Just go to our social media. Of course, we have the question of the day on our social media at Y254 channel. So make sure you comment your thoughts, and of course, I'll be sampling some of the few comments as we go on. Yeah, so I just want to dive into our conversation of the day. After we'll be talking about youth inclusion in regarding immunization. So in the building, of course, in the studio, I have Alexander Kieti with me from ENET, which is Health NGOs Network. So he is a communication and social media specialist at ENET. So I just want to welcome Alexander Kieti in the building.
Thank you very much.
How are you feeling this morning?
I'm good. Having the usual Kenyan energy, the Kenyan youth energy. Yeah.
Okay, so for those who don't know about Alexander Kieti, what can you tell them? Who is Alexander Kieti?
Alexander Kieti is a communication and media specialist by virtue of career or professional inclination. I'm a public health advocate. I'm an immunization champion. Currently, I work at the Health NGOs Network, ENET. That's where we're doing advocacy work on public health. Yes. And I'm currently a male engagement champion also. Yeah.
Okay, for those who have not maybe interacted with ENET, they don't know about ENET, what can they tell them? What does Health NGOs Network really entail about?
ENET is a secretariat or a civil society's entity that brings together civil society organizations, or what we would call, mostly we are used to saying NGOs. So we are a member organization for civil society organizations that are in the health space doing health advocacy. We have over 120 members. These are civil society organizations that are doing health advocacy. And besides being a secretariat or a civil society organizations entity, we also do advocacy work. Yeah, in the health space. The health space is wide. We are in immunization, we are in reproductive health, we are in MNCH, that is maternal, neonatal, child health. We are also in climate change and health. Yes, everything that touches health, and it is doing something.
Okay, amazing, amazing. So about now immunization,
yes.
For those who are not familiar with the topic, maybe they're asking themselves, what is youth inclusion in immunization? So what can you really tell them about immunization?
One, the topic of immunization is wide, and it includes aspects such as immunization financing. We have immunization policy, and then we have inclusion. Today we are here for youth inclusion in immunization. Because, for example, if I ask you, when was the last time you had a conversation about immunization? Just as you're doing your life things outside there, when was the last time you had a conversation in immunization as a youth?
Yeah.
It's long.
It's about a while we have talked about immunization, really. I think when you talk about immunization, unafikiria mambo ya kitambo kwa mdogo, maybe when you want to go for the vaccines and all that. So about now, you have talked about, you mentioned something about immunization financing. I just want to get just a quick brief about immunization financing. Personally, I'm not familiar with it. What is the immunization financing?
Immunization financing is this process of getting resources to finance immunization. And in Kenya, we have been for long been financed externally. Kenya has been having external sources of funding to cater for immunization. And the highest stakeholder is Gavi, the Vaccine Alliance. This is the international organization that finances vaccines and immunization processes in countries, and not all countries. Countries that are in the lower level of economic development. So for a long time, for decades, Kenya has been in that level, that lower level of economic developing countries. And we have been getting finances from Gavi. Gavi has been financing our immunization as a country. But from 2013, Kenya grew. It became by the time we get to 2015, Kenya became a middle income country. So this means it being a middle income country, we can sustain ourselves to a certain level. So this means Gavi withdraws its support because its support is for the countries that are in the lower level of economic development. So Gavi is withdrawing its support, and that's why we have been having another conversation called the Gavi co-financing and Gavi transition. This is now Kenya braving itself or preparing itself to fully finance its immunization besides depending on Gavi, because Gavi is phasing out by the year 2029. Yeah, and last year Kenya paid for itself vaccines worth 4.6 billion. And we are having another about 1.6 billion to go that Kenya is supposed to pay in terms of immunization for itself. Yeah.
Amazing, amazing. Now back to the topic, youth inclusion in immunization. What does it really mean? Is it only about vaccinating young people, or does it maybe involve giving youth a bigger planning and also maybe advocacy and also implementation? What does it really mean when you talk about youth inclusion?
Youth inclusion is about giving the youth a bigger chunk of this fabric of conversing on immunization. It's not about youth getting immunization alone. It's about youth being involved in the successes of immunization. Because, for example, for a long time, immunization has been left for mothers. Yeah, it's just a question of the mother's given birth to a child, so all the immunization responsibility is left on her. But youth play a great role of immunization, because if I would say youth are the biggest beneficiaries of immunization. Yeah, because our parents have taken us for immunization. Today we don't have the threat of getting diseases or complications that would have come because we are not vaccinated. This is because our mothers or our parents took us for immunization. But now there is another challenge that is coming up. There is a lot of misinformation about immunization, and this is where now we bring in the role of the youth debunking misinformation, because the youth are key players, very influential. We are living in a dynamic world, and we acknowledge the fact that we are in a digital world where the youth have a huge voice. So we can take advantage of this influence by the youth to debunk misinformation, to create awareness on immunization, the importance of immunization, because we still have another phenomena that I would call zero-dose children. These are children that are missing immunization. We have about 48,000 children that completely are not immunized. That translates to about 3% of the total population of children that are in the age of immunization. Yeah.
Of course, youth being the next, the one to create the next families. Of course, they
Yes,
must
of
be
course.
learning about this stuff. Now, you've talked about something. You mentioned something about the digital platforms, maybe like Instagram, like TikTok, like Facebook, and how does it really help in your creating awareness, of course, among the youth?
Because this is where these are platforms that we get huge numbers of the youth. Most of the youth, the average Kenyan youth will spend at least 50% of their time on social media, either working, learning, or for entertainment purposes. And so they can use this platform to get information on immunization. That's where as civil society organizations, or as a civil society organization, HENET, we leverage on social media, putting information that is youth relevant on social media, so that if the youth are browsing through the internet or are in the internet, they can come across this information. Same applies to our member organizations that are in the immunization space. They are taking advantage of social media to pass these messages. Yeah.
Okay. So, is there any campaigns that you have started, or you're still in the process of maybe?
No, we have started so many campaigns. Last year, when we were pushing the government to meet its obligations, Gavi co-financing obligations, or the government to pay its part of the vaccine funding, we had hashtag Gavi co-financing, and as NET we have this one hashtag that we use. We've been using for the last in the year 2024 and 2025, and we are still using this. This is the third year. We use the hashtag immunization matters. This is the hashtag that we use for our advocacy, engaging all peers, because as the theme says, 2026 is for every generation vaccines work. So this year's theme for the immunization week is an inclusive theme. So even our hashtag is an inclusive hashtag. Yeah.
Yeah, of course, amazing work. So I've been interacting. Maybe NH, of course, works across the all 47 counties that we
Yes.
have in Kenya. So is there, apart from now misinformation about immunization to the youth, is there any other challenges or maybe gaps that you have seen as you interact with all the 47 counties?
Yes, there are other gaps that exist in immunization. We have the challenge of implementation, for instance, having health as a devolved unit, and the fact that other policies are made in the national government and they transcend down to the county government. So, and also the county governments have their unique frameworks to tackle health or immunization. So we have these implementation challenges in the different counties, especially hard to reach counties or the marginalized counties, or what we would call the far reach areas, the counties that fall into that category. Yes, we have implementation challenges where counties are having policies around immunization, but they cannot implement those policies fully to benefit the mwananchi. Yeah.
Okay, so how is now, of course, having having operation throughout the 47 counties, how is now NET being involved? Are you being involved as educators or as mobilizers? How is NET really being involved in promoting this immunization campaign?
NET is an all-round stakeholder in this immunization campaign or immunization advocacy. We are mobilizers. We mobilize stakeholders, come together, think together on immunization. NET is also an educator. We do field activities to educate people. We do research. Yeah, we write memos every other time. We give suggestions, bring civil society organizations together. They give their ideas. We go to the communities, they give us the ideas. We put them together as memos, as scorecards, then share with the national government, share with the county governments, look at areas of improvement with key stakeholders. So NET is an all-round stakeholder. Yeah.
Okay, so if you're joining us right now, of course, after we are having this amazing conversation about youth inclusion and immunization. So make sure you go to our social media. We put up a post pale on at Y254 channel. Make sure you comment. What are you having this morning? We will be talking about when you was your first time having a million. When did you make your first million? So just tell us. I'll be sampling some of the few comments as we continue. So the conversation, of course, is about youth inclusion in immunization. Maybe you're asking us, what is immunization? Remember, I think we have not had this conversation for a long time, and We get that, of course. So maybe people don't understand what really is immunization. Maybe they are thinking about vaccination and all that, only about vaccination, because I know generally when you hear about immunization, you hear maybe something disease related, and of course it's about immunization. So they want a clarity about immunization. What really is immunization? Because you are using this word a lot, and maybe they are not really getting it.
Immunization is the conversation that starts from when a child is born, and this child needs to be protected from complications, serious complications that might jeopardize their lives. And that's where we have the immunization. We have different jabs that come in at different stages of growth or child's development throughout the child's age. Immunization also includes not only the conversation of just giving the child vaccines. Immunization extends even to the adult. We had coronavirus. We had COVID-19 vaccine. It was a vaccine for even the adults. Right now we have teenagers, and we have the HPV vaccine for the young girls between the age of 10 to 13, around there. So immunization is not just about the child. It's not about just the mother going to the clinic. Immunization is all inclusive. Yeah.
Okay, so we'll be talking about it. So we have now the clarity. You've told us some of the challenges where you've been facing while promoting this. But how does it really work? I just want to know, how does it really work?
In terms of advocacy?
No, not in terms of, we have talked about advocacy.
Yeah.
Now, in terms of preventable disease, maybe, are we still immunizing the same disease back that we used to know back then, like measles and all that? So how does it work with this new era?
No, we are not immunizing the traditional diseases that we've known, because recently we've seen the government introduce new vaccines like rotavirus. We have seen the government introduce new vaccines like pneumonia vaccines. We are having conversations on introducing new vaccines on typhoid. We are having conversations on introducing new vaccines like the HIV vaccine, or these we are having a jab that is being taken maybe twice or once in a year. Yeah.
What about HPV?
We are having the HPV that is for preventing cervical cancer for our women in the future, but they have to take it when they are in the age of between 10 to around 13, 14. Yeah, these are new vaccines. So, and as the world grows, new pandemics come, Kenyans or the world should be sure of new vaccines will come, because new pandemics will be coming. So the conversation of vaccines is not just on the traditional vaccines that we have known that are in the schedule. More vaccines are coming. We are seeing more vaccines coming in. We are advocating for new vaccines. Yeah.
Yeah. So why is it critical? You've talked about vaccinating maybe the girls between the age of, you've said 18,
10 to 14.
Why is it critical on that specific age?
It is critical on that specific age because that is where they pick the risk most. They pick that risk most of having cervical cancer in future. So it is prevented at this stage, so that as the girl grows, the body develops that immunity. Yes.
Okay, so maybe when she's out of that age bracket, is it safe now to take the vaccination?
I can say the age is 10 to 14. That is where we have the most the likelihood that the vaccine will work most. Yeah, so that's where the government insists on having this girl child receive vaccine at that age group. Yeah.
Okay, so about now the safety of vaccines. I remember when COVID-19 was here with us, people took the vaccination, but there was, of course, people talk and they say there's some side effects of the vaccination. Maybe it will cause some like some maybe say side effects, also some effects later on as the years pass. Is it really a true myth? Is something just for the social media?
These are just myths, not true myths.
So
as
for
we
you,
say.
like all vaccines are safe to take?
Vaccines are safe because by the time a vaccine is introduced, it has been researched on, it has been tested, and its safety confirmed. So most of the time, we just having a lot of misinformation, a lot of conversations that are not binding. A lot of hearsays. Because, for instance, you are vaccinated, right? When from being a child, you went through those vaccines. Did they affect you? You are healthy today. So it's only a conversation of hearsays most people have, and this is what we are calling misinformation. That's why we are saying, let's not people listen to misinformations.
So any other misinformation we have, maybe you have heard about this vaccination, apart from now like the one from corona having some side effects? Any other misinformation maybe people have heard and maybe has spread a lot?
We have heard a lot of misinformation on vaccines, not on the coronavirus or the COVID-19 vaccine alone. We have heard communities that say, don't take your child for immunization, they will die, they will develop this and that. While the same thing that they are saying a child will develop are the same things that this vaccine is preventing. So there are a lot of misinformation. We also have some cultures that don't believe in vaccination. Completely.
So, let's say now you're doing your campaign, maybe going to teach people on immunization. You have going across all the 47 counties that we have, and some of the cultures, of course, and some of the religion do not believe really in taking their children to hospitals, maybe for the vaccines and all that. How do you deal with such a circumstance?
First, you have to interact with these people, understand them, create a trust, rapport with them, then show them the importance of vaccination or immunization. Of course, these are mostly traditional beliefs, and we have to debunk these traditional beliefs. So we first interact with them, understand them. Then when we understand them, we show them the importance of this vaccine. Not that their beliefs are bad, but we show them the effect or the harm of sticking to these beliefs. And now we show them the advantage of taking the new life, of vaccination.
Okay, so I remember back when I was little, I could see people being forced to take a vaccine. I think it was measles then. Is that still ongoing? Because some of the religion, I cannot really mention it here. So we could see people even fighting actually, being forced to be taken for that vaccine. Is that still ongoing? How have things changed?
Children being forced to go for vaccine. Vaccination is a continuous process because we have that scheduled by the National Vaccines and Immunization Program, that is NVIP. It has those basic vaccines that children must go through from birth through to even 7. Because you see, there are times when we are in school and like we see immunization people coming, and we are all called out for parade. There was that the drops one. So vaccination is a continuous process. It has not stopped, and for parents that are enlightened, that one is not forcing children. It's actually doing the right thing. Okay,
so a question that has been going on a lot Like people just ask themselves, why vaccinate a disease that is really rare? Like let's say something like gonorrhea. Why vaccinate a disease like that?
It's just to prevent. No disease is rare.
Uh-huh.
Even if a disease is phased out,
Mm-hmm.
there is a likelihood of it coming back. Like now, we have a threat of measles coming back if people are not immunized. If you look, for example, at a country like Cuba that is malaria-free, they will not say that they will not vaccinate because they are malaria-free. Because there is that threat, they continue to vaccinate. So even in Kenya, there are diseases that we have done away with, like also like polio, but there is the threat of them coming back. That's why we keep vaccinating. Yeah.
Okay, a disease, let's say a virus like COVID-19, it was with us about a year, then it went away just suddenly. Some were vaccinated, others were not vaccinated. So do you believe like it can come back again?
Yeah, and we cannot say COVID has gone. Yeah, we still have, we wake up to news that this place is in the risk of having COVID-19. We still wake up to cases of COVID-19. So it just phased out, but it didn't phase out completely. So it exists. So there is need even to continuous vaccination. Vaccination did not end with that 1 year when it was so high. No, people still need to go for vaccination. Those that were vaccinated, we are still alive, kicking. Yeah.
Okay, yeah, it's, think about the misinformation about the vaccination, but I just want really to know about, can a vaccine contain really bad, like let's say harmful ingredients that might cause the side effects, something like aluminum? Maybe you're allergic to some of the ingredients that are made in the vaccination, because you can't say everybody is can be compatible with a certain vaccination.
Like I've said before, vaccines are tested, confirmed for safety first before they are given out. And also, when you look at a vaccine like COVID-19, it had different variances, or the vaccine came with different versions. This is because of compatibility, so that it is compatible to everyone. So you will not get a vaccine that is harmful. And well, yeah, there are side effects of a vaccine, but they are not harmful. If, for example, a child is given a vaccine, maybe the vaccines that a child will automatically have a fever, but it's a fever that's passing. So that one is not a detrimental side effect. Every vaccines have side effects, but they are not life-threatening. The word is they are not life-threatening side effects. Yeah, it's just it is working. Yeah, when it is working, yeah, just that some body changes. Yeah, body readjustments.
Okay.
Yes.
So I'm just trying to get my head through it and look at how really a vaccine really works, because some of the vaccines are given in a dosage between given a time bracket. Maybe after 6 months you go for the second dose. Let's say you take the first dose, and maybe for the HIV, the new HIV vaccine, I think it's given a time bracket of 6 months each for each dose. Maybe you go for the first dose, then you miss the second dose. How now can you go for the second dose, or you must start the process back again?
It is very important that people finish vaccines for them to work. If a vaccine is taken in 2 doses, it means that it works well with a complete dosage. So people should not avoid vaccines, because when you don't finish a vaccine, it is the equivalent of you've not taken that vaccine. Yeah.
Wow, yeah, that is kind of new for me. But another question, why do babies really need a lot of vaccines? We have been talking about vaccinating, maybe the importance of vaccinating, but why do babies specifically need a lot of vaccines?
Babies, when a child is born, their immune system is not as strong as that of an adult. So they are, when a child is born, that baby is under threat of so many complications. And therefore, with a weak immune system, it means that this child would suffer from these complications, a lot of complications. So to make sure that the child is safe, that's why the immune is boosted. Yes, and most of these ailments come or affect the child at that very early stage of development in life. So this is the most important stage of life that the child or the baby needs a lot of vaccines because the threats, health threats are a lot. Yeah, and this child has a weak immune system. So it needs to be boosted.
Yeah, I have a scar with me, I think on my left arm.
Yes.
So is that the BCG, yeah?
Yeah,
Then
the Kenyan, it is called the Kenyan identity.
Yeah. Why did it really form a scar after being vaccinated? Is it something harmful, or how does it really work?
No, it's not harmful. It just shows that, yeah, you've gone through this immunization. It is working. And also for those that do not have and went for the immunization, they should not be worried. Yeah.
So it was the same. Let's say you missed the dosage when you were a baby. Can you go for it after you are really grown up? Will it work the same, or you need a strong dosage?
Actually, no, because when you miss vaccine dosage, we have the side effects. Like for example, you meet someone is crippled, yeah, and you ask them, they're like, oh, I missed the polio vaccine. My parents didn't take me to the polio vaccine. So it is hard to reverse. You cannot now begin to take that adult to go get the polio vaccine, because that age that he was supposed to get, he missed, it passed, and now he's living as a consequence of missing that one. Yeah, so it is very important that children have vaccine at their young age. Yeah, because it's very difficult to reverse in the adult. Yeah, you cannot give someone polio when they already crippled.
Or they have this consequences.
Yes.
Yeah. Oh, okay. So if you know, you have just been joining us right now because you're talking about youth inclusion in immunization. What do you really want to know about this topic? We have discussed about the importance of vaccination, how the ENET and all the other organizations are really advocating for these matters, because youth are the next family creators, we can call them that. So we have a question of the day at our social media pale at Y254 channel. So make sure you keep commenting. I can see a lot of engagement. You have asked about how old were you when you made your first million? Were you 16? Were you 20, 30, 40, or even 50? So just tell us where you're tuning in from and how old were you when you made your first million. I've told you the conversation of today, joined here by Alexander Kieti, is about youth inclusion in immunization. So yeah, we'll just keep going with the conversation, but the time is not really on our side, but we're really finishing up. I just want to know, can a baby baby system be overloaded by maybe a vaccination? Maybe when it gets a lot of vaccination, can the baby protective system be overloaded?
No, a baby can, or even others, cannot be overloaded by a vaccine, because vaccines are given in measurable amounts. Because it's just introducing to the body so that the body creates that resistance. So it's a vaccine, every vaccine is in small amount. It's not overdosed. Yeah. So it cannot overwhelm the system of a baby. Yeah. Vaccines are safe. Yeah, and given or administered in safe amounts. Yes. Okay,
let's say in a scenario where maybe you have gone for a dosage today, maybe a BCG one, then you get let's say a measles one the following week. Does it not really maybe later shida kwa system kweli?
That's why they are planned from this age. This child gets this vaccine at this age, this child gets this vaccine at this other age, the child gets this vaccine to the last one. So there is no vaccine that can overlap the other, that can come before the other. The vaccine that comes first, the second one follows, it cannot overlap. That's why even we have some challenges of, for example, shortages. Like we had BCG vaccine shortage last year. Or stockouts. This is where maybe a mother goes to the clinic and there is no vaccine. And this child is supposed to get at this particular age. It is very important that the mother makes sure that within that time period of that age, the child gets the vaccine. So if there are stockouts, because when there are stockouts, the government will address that one quickly, ensure that vaccines are back to the hospital. That's why the government does it swiftly, very quick, because no child is supposed to miss a vaccine at that particular age. So within that age, the mother or the guardian should ensure that the child gets the vaccine. Yeah.
Okay, amazing. So after a child is vaccinated, of course, it is recorded.
Yes.
Who keeps this record, to be specific?
The records, the mother has a book. The records are kept, every vaccine the mother takes. Also the health facility where the mother goes to take their child for vaccination, they keep records. So the health facility, or what is now the government, keeps the record, and the mother keeps the record. Yes.
Okay, so now to cap it all, now what can you tell the youth, our future mothers, our future fathers, the future families? Or can you, even our future producer and some PI, she's planning to get a family, what's the advice that you can give them?
So producer, myself and other youth that are having families or are planning to start families, will wrap it with this. Every child access to immunization matters, and vaccines are life-saving. Communities should support immunization services, including the youth. Other thing is that youth inclusion in advocacy and in innovation in immunization and immunization conversations is critical, because we are all partakers of this conversation. And lastly, the whole of the society approach is required. So the youth should feel comfortable, involved in this conversation. Yeah. Now producers kose kupeleka mtoto.
Peleke mtoto.
Akikuja.
So I've just seen a comment here. It's a lady asking, she's 28. She's asking if she can get HPV. So she must go for the for the vaccine.
HPV is for the children 10 to 14. The government is looking at ways to have, if they can be accommodated, a version that can accommodate all of them. But also, it is very important that she encourages the children around her at that age. She becomes a champion. She's a youth, 28. She becomes a champion of immunization. Let girl children get this HPV. Let even the small children get vaccinated. Yeah.
So it cannot work for her?
Yeah, for now. But the government researchers are working on having a version that can accommodate this bigger generation or the age group. Yeah.
Okay, thank you so much for the insight. I really learned a lot about vaccination, about immunization, about what you're doing as NET, as the organization, doing amazing work, of course, promoting and advocating for youth to be included, youth inclusivity in immunization. So, thank you so much for coming through. Where can our people, maybe our viewers, get you on social media, even for the organization? Where can they find you? Maybe they want to join the campaign as well. Where can they find you?
At HENET, we are in all the social media platforms. You go to LinkedIn, we are there, Health NGOs Network, HENET, Facebook, X, Twitter, we are also on TikTok. Yeah. And also we have our website, www.henet. Yeah.
For you individually?
Individually, I'm on social media. I'm on LinkedIn as Alexander Kieti. You see there my bio. You'll see communication and media expert. You see immunization champion, public health advocate. Yes, that's where I'm actively doing my advocacy.
Yeah, amazing work, amazing work. Thank you for coming through.
Welcome.
Thank you for the amazing conversation and the insight as well. So before I exit the studio, I just want to look at some of the few comments that you put up through. I've showed you the question of the day was, how old were you when you made that first million, when you made your first million?
will come for us.
How old were you when you made your first
KRA
million?
will come for us.
So unacheza chini. Okay, we have Charles Casper anasema, have you ever pocketed that million yet? And anatuuliza the same question. I'm asking you, Charles Casper, when was the first, how old were you when you made that first million? Then you have Peter Kinaro one time here anasema, the lady, she's so beautiful and then smile kama Yesu akiyakosea. Yeah, she's talking about our very own Stephanie Ayeta. So I'll pass the message to Stephanie, don't worry, Peter. Then we have J Palmer anasema 100%. Then we have Moody Adobe anasema ndani kaki and the booth. Then someone anasema in the process of making. So yeah, some keep on going the good work. Then Okinya anasema then Brainiac and IQ answer anasema, it's too early for me, I'm just 16, don't worry on the dreams are valid. Then we have Akiwa Lion anasema, good morning from Kitale, good morning as well. Then we have Vincent Wambua anasema locked. Then Clemo Junior Bakayoko anasema Tiboroa iko ndani, thank you so much. Then JJ Kiongozi KE anasema hello Stephanie and JJ, what's million? Oh, hello, but a million is a lot of money put up in the bundle that you see that you can spend for your entire lifetime. And
but it's also not a lot of money. Depends on where. A million is a lot of money, but it's not a lot of money.
Not only money alone.
Yeah.
Yeah, but of course here we are talking about that cash, that big cash that we're talking about, the billion. Then Vincent Ombwana anasema pamoja. Then Odongo Ward Asembo anasema good morning, niko ndani Asembo na Riena, thank you so much. Then Benjamin Mugo anasema good morning as well. Ale Kings Msenali anasema good morning. Then we have Vincent Ogutu pamoja. Then of course Dave Mali anasema 120 Githuri, well represented, and good morning as well. Then Kennedy Jumba watching. Thank you so much for tuning in from 7 to now. It's just 4 minutes past 8, but don't go away. After you will be joined by our very own Stephanie Ayeta, nimeona mkimuulizia sana. Then also Brian Sako will be also joining us live from a Connected Africa Summit. So make sure you stay tuned at Y254 channel at James John. So thank you so much. We're going to just take a short commercial break, then we'll be back.